Hey guys, I wanted to cover a case that I saw online, and it happened a couple of years back, but it happened in Chinatown in New York City, so let's go ahead and watch the clip real quick. So yeah guys, as you can see in that video, the surveillance says the time is around 4:20 in the morning. You can see she's walking back to her apartment. She's getting through the entrance, and as you can see, when she's walking down that hallway, you clearly see there's another guy who is definitely not with her. He's kind of just tailing right behind her, and it turns out that guy would happen just to see her walking back to her place, and he decided to stalk her and follow her. And unfortunately, in this case, he actually was able to slip into her apartment as well. As she unlocked the door, he actually barged his way into her apartment, and roughly 10 minutes later, the neighbors could hear her screaming. They could hear a female screaming, and it turns out it was her, and they called the cops. And when the cops got there, unfortunately, the guy who got into her apartment, he was able to block the door, and the cops could not get into it in an appropriate time. And unfortunately, it took them an hour later just to get into the apartment, where then they unfortunately found her. The guy had stabbed her many times, and unfortunately, by the time they got to her, she was dead. So after watching that, I thought to myself, well, if I was in New York City, what tools could I personally bring and use with me if I were to be walking out on the streets alone, like her in this case, and you wanted to have something on you to protect yourself? So let's just say you were out there at 4 in the morning. What could you carry? Well, we know right off the bat that New York City, or New York State in general, is a very, very difficult state to get your concealed weapons license. So for many, that may not be an option that is viable to you, because you have to work, you have to take care of your family, or whatever else the problem is. And there's also New York City laws state that you cannot carry a fixed blade knife, such as this clinch pick right here. So you can't carry knives like this, or this K-bar TDI right here for self-defense. They would deem that illegal. And also, they would not allow you to carry a folding knife like this knife right here, because they would not allow you to carry this for self-defense either. So for me, after watching that, I would say that if you are a person who wants to take self-defense seriously in a restricted state like in New York City, I would highly, highly recommend that you invest in some pepper spray or some kind of defensive gel spray like this one. You can get a pack of 3 of these for $20 or $30. This one I specifically carry in this rush carry holster, which I just clip onto my belt. But let's just say you prefer not to carry anything on your belt and you want to carry it on your pocket. Well, you see on Amazon, they sell these palm pepper sprays, which you can clip onto your pant pockets or your jean pockets. So in this case, I would definitely recommend somebody, especially if you're alone in these bigger restricted cities, to carry something like pepper spray, because as you watch back on the footage, you could see that the guy's following behind her, and if she did have pepper spray, she could have had it in her pocket or in her purse, and she could have deployed it and sprayed him in the face and possibly saved her a couple of seconds to make it safely into her apartment, where then she could call the police. And another thing I wanted to go over is, in a big city, the cop response time is usually pretty fast, much faster than if you lived in a rural place. And you'd see that they got there 5 minutes after the call was put out. But unfortunately, even by 5 minutes, it was still too late. So that's why always having something on you to save yourself is going to be better than phoning the police for help. And the last thing I would say you want to bring with you, and no matter where you go in the world, is your situational awareness, because you always want to make sure that you're in control of seeing who's on your left, your right, your front, and behind you. Just having that, not even thinking about any of the tools to have with you, but just with that alone, having situational awareness like that can already be more than enough to save you from many situations from unfolding. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to quickly go over that case and just encourage you guys who don't have any tools of self-defense that if you are wanting to get into self-defense and you want a good starting place to learn how to defend yourself, I would recommend starting with pepper spray, because this is just one of the finest tools, sometimes more often better than having a gun, because you could stop many bad acts with this, and I highly recommend pepper spray, especially if you live in a restricted city. So yeah, guys, stay safe, stay aware, and be a good citizen. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.